Okay, just want to do a quick update on the media room build. Still a work in progress here. As you can see, the house is still studs, but this is the media room. 19 foot 6 inches deep, 14 foot 2 inches wide, and tray ceilings, double tray ceilings. Actually be crown molding up there with a rope light above. That's the attachment. We'll plug in the rope light. That'll be in the top for ambient lighting. Current setup we've got in here. Let's see. We've got our tubing run over here, our Smurf tube run all the way back to our projector outlet right here. So we'll be running a projector in here with a 120-inch screen on that wall. Again, that wall's about 14 foot, so it'll take up the majority of that wall. As you see there on the front on each side are the left and right. Planning on doing clips reference in walls right there. Keep cruising around. That's a light fixture there. That is the side speaker. Another light fixture. And then we've got our rear here. And a rear here as well in the back. Light fixture, side speaker, light fixture. So right now that's set up for 7 point what? 7 point what? So let's see. We've got our sub outlet right back here. I'm sorry. Right back here in that corner is the sub outlet next to the electrical plug. And of course, can run as many as I want up here in the front. Planning on doing 2 rhythmic FV15 HPs, portets in the front and either corner to run off here. So 7.2, that's what we're looking at right now. What else? Here we've got our Atmos rear and our Atmos front on each side. There it is. There it is. So this system will be a 7.2.4. Again, I have another outlet back here for a sub where I could do 7.3. I don't think it's going to be necessary in this room. 10 foot high ceilings up there to the floor joist. So with the drop tray ceilings, it's about 9 foot on the outside, 10 foot in the center. The volume of this room at 19.5 by 14 by about 10 foot is not really, those 2 rhythmics are going to be more than I even need. So what's going on now? So you see here I've got thermoply along the front walls with some thermal tape on there. I've got it going all the way up, and I've got it going on the side walls here. I have to finish the rest of the way up and do the back here. And it's done all the way on this wall. Why thermoply? Thermoply is pretty cheap, it's pretty light, it's easy to cut. And if you notice, as I spun around, this is the entryway door. There's no windows in this room. This is a first floor media room, interior room with no windows. So this room will stay pretty cool. As you see, it's got a pretty good sized vent in it up there, and a substantial vent back here where you're sitting. So that is the in, and that is the return vent. So the room will cycle air pretty well. And of course, anything hot is going to be over here on this end in the cabinet for the controls and the receivers and whatnot. So it'll pull air in back where you're sitting and then up front. So I've got it set up where it should cycle air quite well. But the real reason for the thermoply is not for any kind of thermal barrier. It's to give a base for the acoustical foam. So once this is done, what's going in next, I use this wall as an example because it's on the other side, is open cell spray and acoustical foam is going to go inside these studs. I did not want to do a pocket wall and cut down on the sides of this room. I also didn't want to do cellulose because it will actually be a thermal barrier and it will make this room hot. The thermoply will not make this room hot. It'll simply maintain whatever temperature is in the room. So if I turn the heater on, it'll let it get warm. If I turn the air conditioner on, it'll let it get cool, and it'll keep the temperatures from passing the barrier. It will not regulate temperature. The open cell foam will not either. So this is not closed cell that's going to go in here. Closed cell will create an actual thermal barrier. Open cell will create an acoustic barrier. So that is going to go inside the walls, all the way around, and inside the ceilings up there in the floor joists on the top. And still have some areas that need to be foamed in around some pipes and whatnot. As you can see, there's a good amount of wirings, ducting, everything running in here. Gas lines that will also could create ambient noise. Water lines, that's PEX water line. You'll hear that if that's hollow. In this room, somebody flushes the toilet, you hear the water going by and starts the dishwasher. The gas line you won't really hear, regardless, but yeah, so this has to be decked. That's the attic inside there. You see the ACs and everything up there. That still needs to be decked on the inside of there. But kitchen's on the other side of this wall. And so definitely need something from a sound barrier standpoint, as well as directly above this are my kids' rooms upstairs. So if I want to be able to use this, I have to be able to deaden the sound some. So that's what's going to go in here. The open cell is about as good as you can get from a sound deadening standpoint without doing a pocket wall in there, because the open cell will actually capture the foam. It creates a soft barrier instead of a hard reflective barrier that will absorb the sound and keep it from leaving through the wall. Now nothing's going to stop the bass from those two rhythmics, nothing. I don't give a shit what I do. If I turn those up, I can break window in the next room probably. So there's nothing short of building this into a complete recording studio that would stop the bass from those. However, the speaker sound, even with the end walls, will be greatly reduced, as well as it's going to create a better wavelength because it's not going to have the reflection off the drywall with the foam behind it. So it's going to create better sound as well as a good sound barrier. So next steps here will be to finish the thermal ply all the way around this top up here, this wall, this wall. The thermal tape is simply to keep the foam, once I spray it, from seeping through and kind of minimize the amount of scraping I'll have to do on this side, as well as prohibit as much sound as possible from getting out of these air vents, all of these. So what I actually have done, as you see on a lot of these, anything